Attention, landlords and investors. If you're looking to take vacant possession on your investment property to do significant renovations, here's the new laws you need to know. Greg, thanks for joining.
My pleasure, Billy, as always. Bright and cheery Monday morning.
This morning for our viewers. Hard to get a hold of, I always say. Very hard to get a hold of a strata specialist like yourself.
Yeah, we're few and far between, but and we're busy, obviously, with all the new legislation changes.
Yeah, because you're seeing some of the pitfalls, people are making, and it's costing them double, triple, quadruple the renovation cost they initially had in mind, because they've either gone and done the work and have to, go and fix it, or they're just getting they're not getting their paperwork lined up, not getting their ducks in a row, and it's costing them, weeks without rent or just complicated end of tenancy issues. So you're going to elaborate a little bit this morning on some of the new tenancy laws pushing through, what it means for people that are planning big renovations at the end of a lease.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, as I've said before, New South Wales government really treats landlords, and especially in strata, as the fourth tier of government. And lo and behold, as at June this year, so only a month and 6 weeks ago, the date's 25th of June, there is now additional laws that have come in place, and I'm going to break it into two areas. For if you're undertaking a renovation and you want to do the renovation, that's fine. There's no problems with that as long as you do your normal paperwork. But if you've got an existing tenant and you want to take vacant possession, and your tenant is, let's say, still 3 months, 4 months tenancy in his agreement, the laws now say that if you want vacant possession, you've got to give the tenant a lot of warning, and we'll go through that in a minute. But not only that, you've now got to upload to the Department of Fair Trading why you need the vacant tenancy, upload your strata, upload your reports and your plans. So you can't just say, I'm going to start on the 1st of September renovations, please vacate. You've now got to prove it. And of course, if you're then going to make those renovations to your apartment, you've got to make sure that you've already got the plans in place. You've already got owners corporation's approval. And I'm just going to check my records for 2 seconds because these things keep changing. But as far as I remember the Act change, you've got to give your tenant 60 to 90 days prior notice. So you really have to have your ducks in a row, because if you don't, they don't have to leave. And if you've got builders lined up and commencement dates lined up and you can't comply with that, then you've got a problem.
Absolutely.
So the other one that can affect a lot of landlords is that when the owners corporation decides to undertake a renovation, as in it might be concrete cancer, it could be whatever the reason, remedial works. And if your owners corporation hasn't given sufficient notice to you as a owner, and for whatever reason that tenant needs to vacate, and I've had that over the years where, they've got concrete cancer in the slab of the apartment above, which is effectively the ceiling of the apartment underneath, and it's magnesite. So I'll use, that's the technical term for it. we've had to put props in the unit below, and as much as they wanted to put Christmas decorations around and make them look like Christmas trees, they had to vacate.
Sure.
And therefore, you've got to go through this exercise again and then get copies of those reports from your owner's corporation, upload those to the department, still give your tenant, and if it's only going to be, let's say, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or 4 weeks that they've got to have vacant possession, you've got to, as a landlord, you can't terminate them. You've got to find accommodation for them.
Wow. So that's the landlord's obligation, is it?
That's the landlord's obligation. Now,
wow,
a lot of owners' corporations will make a gratuitous payment for that, and it then comes down to the insurance policy whether or not they get rental assistance, and that's where you've got to really look at all your insurance policies and so on and so forth. But for landlords, there's a lot of difficulties, and it's becoming increasingly harder just to say, I want to renovate, and therefore the market's moved. If I put a new bathroom in, take out this wall, open up the plan, and then I might get an extra $150 a week rent. Well, you've got to be careful. Yeah. You've got to make sure that these works done.
Does this apply to landlords that want vacant possession at the end of the lease just for a renovation, or is it only if it's in that fixed term period?
It's only in the fixed term. So the notice period will determine how much notice you give them on how much lease is yet to run. So if you've got a 6-month lease versus a 12-month lease, there's different notice periods. But what I'll do at the end of this, we advise a lot of people, go to our website. We've got all that details on there. They can just download it. They can see what the paperwork they require. And we'll even put on the direct link to the Department of Fair Trading so they can find the form, and all the information's there. I was only speaking with the department the other day, and they are making a concerted effort, especially in the strata field, for more education. So they will be putting out a lot more information. The only issue I have with that is, how does the general public, landlord, know that there's information out there? It's great to have the details, but
Where are you sort of submitting this paperwork to initially?
Well, the first thing you've got to do is get all your documents all lined up. In other words, the plan, the design, your quotes. You've got to sign the documentation that it is an immediate repair that you're going to undertake. Then you've got to upload that to the department's online portal.
Okay, so is that where do you go for that? Fair Trading?
Fair Trading, or and look, that's really hard to navigate. Like any government department, if you don't put in the right inquiry, you'll be sent on an hour and a half hunt. It's there, but you've got to know where it is. What we're going to be putting on our website is the direct link to it.
Great. Okay. So people can maybe
if you just go onto our website, www.steadmanwilliamsonhart.com.au, and look for this podcast or whatever under our blog, there will be the link.
Okay.
And we're just going to make that a lot easier for people.
You've seen this in place for just over a month now. How is it going out there for landlords?
They're confused.
Okay.
It's like, well, when did this happen? I don't understand. Why haven't I been advised of this? I also sit back and say to a lot of inquiries that come through to us, has not your strata manager told you? And they go, no. And at the end of the day, it's not the strata manager's role or responsibility to advise landlords. They will look at, if you want to do a renovation, do you have a bylaw? but they don't have to then go back and say, but you've got to upload all this onto the portal. So consequently, doing a renovation, let's just use the standard, the bathroom, kitchen, whatever it may be.
Yep.
They're only going to look at the requirements under the Strata Act. They're not going to look at whether or not you've notified your tenant. So it's a play between you as the agent, strata manager, which means you're now going to have to really look at well planning. And as agents, you may be saying to your landlords, if you want to do these renovations, or you're recommending they do the recommendations for a new bathroom to, upgrade their unit, you've really got to be looking 3 months ahead of when they want to start.
You know what, Greg? I can't stress enough. I think property managers are going to be, worth more than they ever have been before. Because if you look at $1 million asset, handing that over to someone like $1 million bag of cash to be looked after, and you're providing a property to someone, for something like $50, $70 a week, down in the long run, it's going to save people an absolute fortune, because they'll only want to get this wrong once, and they'll be so grateful that half the people have got a property manager, have someone professional handling this, and half of the people are trying to have a go at this themselves amongst their other full-time jobs. So it's really good advice.
Oh, look, we get over the years, we've had owners say, talking generally about strata managers, they go, well, what do? You send 4 levies a year, and that's it. Couldn't be further from the truth. I did work out a while back that there is 53 acts that and plus their regulations that can affect an owners corporation. And the situation is, how does one person understand 57 different acts that can affect an owners corporation? Well, you have to, because people are paying you a fee to know that professional advice. And it's complicated, it's detailed. And then you get courts interpreting what those acts and regulations mean. But getting back to your landlord, you really are now becoming, between a real estate agent and a strata manager, you're becoming asset managers.
Yeah.
Because the landlord requires the professional advice coming from you and people like myself, and they're going to go, well, why did you force me into this breach? Well, if you don't know, the landlord won't know, strata manager may not know, and the courts go, well, you should have.
Yep.
The legislation's there.
I think that's a big
It's
topic.
very simple.
So 1 month in, we're 1 month down, many months to go. Hopefully the confusion will clear, but resources like what you're putting together on your website will help. And if people have got questions, reach out to your property manager or your strata manager. That's probably the best place to start.
Oh, absolutely. And then, they can download the stuff from us. We don't charge for any of that. We've got a big resource of information. We get a lot of inquiries coming through it that way. And we don't mind someone then going off to their strata manager and going, I've got this information, please explain.
Yep.
Great. So while it's a very short topic today, it's a complicated topic. You don't have any choice. You now have to comply.
Thank you, Greg.
Pleasure, as always.
Have a good day. Take care.
Okay, thanks, Billy. Bye.